Okay, let's start.
Morning, guys. Saturday, 10:30. Shortened week. Well, you still had some movement. But what was it this week? A lot of noise. Okay, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. You look where nothing moved. But a couple of setups that we've been talking about for weeks. Waited for this week coming up now. And a couple of more in the precious metals. Well, we got a little bit of a curveball was oil this week, as oil caught itself a bid and moved itself out of a different sector now. Now it's up here. But the one we've been talking about, the setup is in. We got a great test this week was the price of silver. Okay, we just made a clip on it. You're going to see it in a little while. But the thing is, silver, the entire move had all this noise and then got quiet. And the way I've been reading silver is quiet this week was very bullish. I'm going to show you why. And then I'm going to show you how we set ourselves up. We waited for this. The price of silver. Let's go right to this first. Okay, this is the talk of the planet is silver. We had the wildest move. Okay, if you remember, we've been long silver. We've been on silver for a while. And then we talked about parabolics, which nobody seemed to understand. It's just something you have to experience it. You can't explain it. You can't describe it. You can't give a formula. It just happens. But I've been through a few of them. So this, when the market became parabolic, we made a video and said, once this music stops, and we gave areas, 110, 115, 120. Look at the top, 120. Okay, that's fine. That's just our areas. Once it stops, the speed is faster. And then what do we have? The largest commodity move in history on the downside in one day. Okay, something went from 120 down to 75 in one day. Largest commodity move. And then what happens? Now the market's it's doing bobbing. You know what it is? You go from 5-foot waves to 10-foot waves to 30-foot waves, and then you get a couple of these rogue waves. People don't know what to do. So in the interim, you get the bobbing going up and down. And what we wanted this week, because we're very bullish silver, and then we had that 2 Thursday nights ago where you had the breakdown through here when there was the panic about cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, all the metals were melting down. We grabbed some silver right here. We waited patiently. If you belong to the group, you know it was a Thursday night. It was around 7:30 at night. We still got it on. We said we're going to hold this one. We're going to hold this silver going into this week coming up, because this week you got first notice day. You got futures that could want to take delivery, and you can have a crazy silver market. So what do we have this week that gave us a great indicator? We were looking for silver to pull below here. Okay, China is on and celebrating their new year. Okay, so they're not in, and they've been the major supporters of precious metals in the Asian session, which is overnight in our session, every pullback. So they're not around. So if you want to push it down, you got no one there to support it. So the market, is very volatile. Couldn't even get it to break once, and there were a couple of setups this week where silver should have broke this big area, and it didn't. So it looks like nothing's going on. You know what that tells me? That tells me that's very bullish. Okay, because the fact that they couldn't even get it down there to try it, and now it says buoyant down here. And then what did it do yesterday in the afternoon? On a Friday afternoon, quietly, silver just grinded and grinded and grinded. And where did it go? Out on the highs. And now you got a week coming up going into first notice day, which is it's the plumbing, it's the mechanics of silver futures into silver spot. But silver spot, bullion silver, which I always show you once in a while. I pull out my kilo bar and I show you what it is. That's higher than the price of futures. So we think futures can work its way higher this week. Okay, so that was an indicator. This was a better indicator because no one paid attention to it. And now let's see if we can ride this. We still got this on. I'm gonna ride it this week. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I don't know what you want to do. I know the group, we all talk together all day, in and out at nighttime. I think a lot of us still have it on, and we think there's a move here. Now, I'm not looking for something crazy up here because I think this was a stretch, and then this was a stretch. I think silver's going to be around here for a while. Silver used to be a $30 commodity. Decades. Now it could have a $30 range. How good is that if you like to trade the metals? That's one metal we're talking about, and that's what's going to be on our focus. So what did we do this week? We accumulated some silver stocks. Okay, what the ones we put on? Heckler. Okay, we waited for dips. Okay, what did we do? We put Heckler on. Another one, Pan American Silver. Waited for dips. Put Pan American on. If you belong to the group, you know what we have on. Okay, Pan American Silver. Look where that one went out. Another one, and this seems to be the fan favorite. It's my favorite too. It's one of my favorites. EXK. You guys ask about it every week. I'm glad you asked about it because that's one that gives you movement. If you want to trade silver, not really invest in silver. You want to trade silver. This is a great one to trade. EXK. Let me show you this one because we picked up some of this too, and I think this one's going to pop too. Same thing. Okay, you grab it in the good areas, and now we got it closing out in the highs. The thing is, if silver does what we think it's going to do this week, This thing makes a new high. Pan American probably goes. Heckler probably goes. And look at the nice ride you catch in silver by being patient and waiting, because we waited. Okay, we didn't chase silver up here. We waited for it to come down here. We were looking for that parabolic to create opportunities. So 2 weeks ago, when that opportunity created, where everybody got caught and said, get me in, look out, and they all got caught a little bit, the stocks came down with it. What do? We smashed them up here. So we're ready for this week in silver. Now all I got to do is be right. In the interim, gold is quiet. Gold looked like it pulled back. People say, nah, gold kind of run its course. All right, let me show you what gold is. Let's gold run its course. $5,100. You tell me whatever you want. The absolute price of gold is above $5,000 and quiet. This makes sense because this was the Thursday we were talking about when you had the parabolic up and the parabolic down. Market got nervous, and now it's doing its work. And if you watch gold, we've been watching, myself, Guy Adami, we've been on gold for 2 years. We smelled something out a couple of years ago. I've been in the metals business for over 4 decades. I'm pushing 5. Okay, so I've seen a lot of nuances. I've seen a lot of indicators, a lot of symptoms, and gold was on our systems. Okay, gold sits, and then it pops. Gold sits, and then it pops. Gold sits, and then it pops. Okay, now you got this giant aberration, okay, and it's going back. All it did was this caused this, but now gold is here. So what's gold doing? It's sitting, and I think it's going to pop again. I think the same thing is happening. They're just going to be larger numbers because you're going from something that's 2,000 to 5,000. So you do it accordingly. A couple of other metals. I'm going to talk the metals first. We'll get to the questions. Why? Because I think these are the sleepers now. Everybody's talking about silver. Gold has been on a mission. Platinum and palladium have been on people's alternative list. They got to come off the alternative list. They got to go on the list. Platinum below 2,000 now is very attractive. Okay, same charts. You look at these. All these charts did that. If you remember that Thursday night we bought silver, we bought platinum. We bought platinum right here. Okay, but this we traded. We bought the platinum. We sold it out. We've been doing that all year. Okay, because platinum is opportunity. We still think platinum is way, way, way too cheap. Okay, so that's platinum. Palladium, which is something that's not easy to trade if you're trading futures, and there aren't too many equities can give you exposure. Palladium's one that I've traded for since the 90s. So what are you talking about? 20, 30, about between 30, 35 years I've traded palladium. I've made a lot of money in palladium. I've lost a lot of money in palladium. This is one that really can go. And it's the same thing. If you remember, palladium was our home run future last year. We have a home run. One was our stock was SBSW, and the futures that we made the most was a home run was palladium futures. Okay, we did that twice last year. We're trying to do it again. Okay, palladium's at a cost of production for a long time, which if you do your homework, you know that. So it means it's hard to go below that. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but when it does, it can be impactive. So it went up, we traded it. Was it impactive? Yes. Came back, we put it on. Was it impactive? Yes. We didn't trade it up here. We waited for it to come down here, and now we're looking at palladium because I think palladium now is a lot different than gold, silver, and platinum, because if this gets on its horse on the upside, there aren't numbers. These are just red lines straight up. I've been involved in this, and this could be wild. Okay, and if it is, and futures are hard to trade, so you try to find equities. Well, our equity, our home run equity last year, out of all the equities we traded, was SBSW. So if you belong to the group or you followed us, we hit 2 home runs last year. They both were the same stock, SBSW. Okay, and we still think the same thing. Now we're waiting for a spot to get in. Okay, we were all in here, cashed it. Went all in here, cashed it. Went all in here, and then cashed it here. We didn't catch this. Okay, we caught it up to here. We caught up to here, I think. Yes, caught up to here. Didn't catch this, and now it's coming down. We like this a lot. Okay, we just want to wait for our spot. We're going to give it a week or two, and then we're going to see if we got a chance to get to our areas. Belong to our group, we're looking to get back into SBSW. So that's what we have. We have a couple of other platinum and palladium stocks. One is palladium sensitive. If you belong to the group, you know what it is. One is platinum and palladium sensitive. And they're not ones that you know the names of. They're not ones that are popular. These are off the beaten path that I've done a little homework on. So if we're right, those should start to go too. So I just talked about metals. We're going to talk about oil. We're going to talk about natural gas and the grains. But let's get some questions in.
Okay, we have some questions on, looks like TMC. MOS.
Which, MOS? Okay. Well, we like the grains. We've been talking about grains for about 3 weeks now. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. We've talked about beans being I'll give you a good gauge. We made a video right here. We said, guys, soybeans are too cheap down here. They've extended anything it's good value. And then what happened? The president said he made a tentative agreement with China, and they were going to buy some beans from us. So look what happened. It showed how tentative it was and how sensitive it was. Beans popped up. So from here to here, that was a nice bean trade for us. But it also opened up the grain sector, which I thought is too cheap, was undervalued. So what has been on our radar screen? If you belong to a group, you know what we're talking about. Wheat, different grades of wheat and corn. Well, look what happened this week in wheat. Here we go. There goes wheat. Okay. If you follow us, you know what we're talking about. The different grade of wheat, Kansas City wheat. Okay, there's all different kinds of grade. Look at Kansas City wheat. There we go. Okay, so we're talking about the grains. Here they go. What's the way to get some grain exposure? You can use a food processor, which we follow, which is Bunge or Archer Daniels. They've already popped. Or another way, peripheral way, is fertilizer. So we bought fertilizer. We're long MOS, which is a fertilizer company. So you're asking about MOS? We have it on. We might even add. If you remember, we bought it the first day of the year. We bought MOS right here. We sold it out right here. No, we sold it out here. We cashed it in, then we put it all back on here, and then we added on more. So our position in MOS is larger than it was here. I think MOS has got a lot of room on the upside. I think the fertilizer sector, it's going to catch up fast, especially if grains start to go. And we're approaching the season. Okay, we're in February. You start to get to March or April, then all of a sudden there are grain stories. What a bullish, what a bearish. Then you start looking. Is there water problems? Is there fertilizer problems? Are there bug problems? There's a lot of different ways, but I think fertilizer can go. And I think MOS has got a lot of room on the upside. I'm doing a lot of talking today, guys. Sorry about this. We should get to the questions.
Hold on one second. I'm going to restart TikTok here real quick.
Okay.
There's something going on with it.
Okay. You know what? We've been getting, for guys who aren't on TikTok now, we've been getting giant audiences. Okay. And I think TikTok is going through new kinds of rules, and they won't let these audiences get big. You're going to see some of the numbers that we do lately. You know, from the last couple of months, especially because we've been on silver, and silver's kind of global right now. So now that we've been calling silver, making good money on it, our audience is getting huge. Maybe there's a problem with TikTok. I don't know. He's trying to relog.
Yeah. All right. Looks like they're coming back in here.
Okay. All right. That's not us, guys. It's on the TikTok side.
Yep. All right. We can continue.
Okay. Let's get some questions before I go to the next sectors.
All right. We have one from Addicted to Water.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, do you see any spread catalysts here for nat gas?
Spread catalyst. Well, I told you, you know, the way we read energy markets. I read the futures the way I was taught, and the spreads tell me a lot. Okay. Now, in my opinion, natural gas got to a great area this week. So we think natural gas, the sensitive side, doesn't mean it's going to happen. But the thing is, if you get bearish news, put up the example, the best way to do it. We're trading April natural gas. Okay, that's what we're trading. Okay, so if you get bearish news, the downside is kind of limited. If you remember 2 weeks ago, if you belong to the group, I said, guys, I was taught how to see this. We got a big curveball here in natural gas right here. I remember it was in the afternoon. I said, guys, we haven't seen this in many, many years. So if there's anything bullish, it should snap. And what happened in natural gas? We made a video. I'm not making this up. We went straight up. So what does it tell me? That's the sensitive side. So now that we're down here, I say to myself in natural gas, what is the sensitive side now? The sensitive side is to the upside again. So the spreads will tell me that it's holding around here if we get any kind of bullish news. But there doesn't have to be super bullish news. It could be slightly bullish. Okay, this move, just to give you an example, this move, you would say, is massively bullish news. It was not. It was bullish, slightly bullish to bullish, but the sensitive side was up here. Now we're down here again, and I think the same thing. All you need is slightly to maybe fully bullish news in natural gas, and it could snap. So I like natural gas. If you've been with the group, what have we been doing all week? Buying natural gas futures. We bought UNG.
Did tariff news hurt MP on Friday?
MP. Yeah, I think it hurt all of uranium. That was the whole uranium sector, yes. And, a lot of people are uncomfortable here. And I think they got to watch themselves. We have MP on, but we wait. If you wait for your spots, then when they get there, if they don't work, they're not putting a price pressure on you. That's the difference the way we trade compared to others. Okay? Now, we don't trade numbers. Okay? I'm not a numbers guy. Okay? I'm a numbers guy. But let me tell you something. When I get involved in something, I don't go by where I bought it. Am I going to be even or not? That's not the way you trade. Because then you're not trading your opinion. You're trading numbers. But this is an example for others. Now, if others got involved in MP up here because they got involved in uranium, now they're down here, they're uncomfortable. We bought uranium, we bought MP, I think it was last week. Within the last week and a half, we grabbed it down here. So the fact that it went up and came down here, they're uncomfortable because they're price sensitive. I'm not even blinking about it being uncomfortable. If I think it's wrong, I will get out. But that's the edge of waiting for your spots. Now, if it kept going up, when they bought it, I missed it. Let me tell you, I missed many trades. But when you get down here and they're uncomfortable, I'm not. I like MP here, and this is my area that I would pay attention to. If it got below 50, then I say then these people might be caught too much, and they force them out.
Okay, we have a question from Tribex.
Yeah.
If we hit Iran, what happens to the metals?
To the metals? I don't think the metals are Iran sensitive. I think gold may be sensitive. I don't think silver, platinum, or palladium are. Okay, they're on their own. Okay, and when silver is not following anything, which it hasn't done in the last 6 to 9 months, I'm doing silver, guys, since the mid '80s. Believe me, I can't tell you. I can tell you stories. We could be here till your battery's going to go dead on your phone. I've been involved in silver. When silver's on its own, which it is now, outside news or anything outside is not going to affect silver. And I don't think Iran is going to affect silver or platinum or palladium. It may affect gold because it's a little bit of a currency move.
Okay, next one, USAR.
USAR, another one that I think people are caught. We have some on, okay, but we only have a small piece on. So as opposed to jumping in, because I think, and I think we might be in this. If you look at this is exactly this, okay, and everybody got in, we're paying attention. They said, I got to get in, and they all chased it. And then what happened? They got carried out. Okay, same thing here. Talked about it at the beginning of the year. People say, oh boy, this is the spot. What they do, they chased it, and now they're all caught. So I have a piece on, okay? I have one piece. Not enough that it's going to make me uncomfortable either way because it's part of a big book I got, okay? But I think this is setting up to look like this. So we probably got lower to go, okay? Now, if you're all in or you're in too much, you got to watch yourself. I got a piece on, so it's not affecting me that I'm making a decision. But look at this. Tell me this isn't exactly the same. Okay, you got to watch yourself here with USAR. If you got too much on, you got to get yourself comfortable. If you don't have enough on, then wait for your opportunities. We're going to wait for opportunities.
Okay. What do you think is going to happen to the market with these tariffs?
I think the ones that were sensitive when they came out are going to unwind. I still think no matter what, you'll get a knee-jerk reaction, and then the fundamentals will take over in commodities, which in my opinion, every commodity on this board is cheap. Okay, you just got to find out which one's cheap and which ones are going to move cheaper to cheapest and which ones are going to move first. So I still think no matter what, if the tariff pushes some commodities lower, it's creating opportunities.
All right, guys. Also, want to let you guys know, if you guys are having trouble watching us on TikTok, because TikTok sometimes restricts this live, join us on YouTube. We are live on YouTube and also X. So if you'd like to see us on YouTube and X, same time, 10:30, you can view us there. Just want to make that statement. Next one, how about Football Legends is looking at sugar.
Sugar, I think, ran its course. Okay, we said it would take a couple of weeks. It's taken more than a couple of weeks. It's actually taken closer to 3 to 4 weeks. We think sugar's extended on the downside and reversed, and we're going to get a good feel when we look at the March contract. Okay, if we made a video last week, we said you got to let sugar run its course. You needed a couple of these to extend just to get people out, and now if it goes higher. But the trade here in sugar is, people say, okay, this is the area. No, the trade is now, because if it does do what it should do, it's not the area. The area should go. So we have sugar. I have sugar on. I'll tell you what I have. I have sugar on. I'm comfortable because now I like what I've seen here. So I think sugar's got room in the upside. I may trade a little here. I have no problem selling sugar initially up here and then seeing that it's going to start to break out, and I would have no problem selling it here and buying it all back here because I think sugar's got room on the upside.
Next one, Joshua Wantia. Why is corn lagging?
Yes, it is lagging. Corn will always lag unless corn is like silver. It's got to be in play in corn. Now, corn is very easy to store. Corn is it's grown across the planet. It's always in abundance. It's always in the silos. So the only way you could see that is if the spreads move. I think corn is the last one to go. I'd rather be in wheat, beans, and then corn in that order.
All right, That's X is asking, hey, could you look at JPM?
JP Morgan, yeah, of course. We watch these bank stocks big time. Okay, and there's JPM is doing nothing. Okay, look at it. This is the range. I actually, it sits. I can't give you an opinion here because I don't have one. I would tend to think you got a couple of failures up here. So if the market's going to breathe, JPM goes down. But to do anything here, no opinion at all.
All right. Let's look at. Let's see. We have TMC.
We talked about TMC.
We talked about that. How about USAR? We talked about that.
Talked about USAR.
We talked about the fertilizer sector.
Yes, we like MOS.
All right. It looks like we answered a lot of these in the comments here.
Okay.
Oh, how about AREC?
Yes, same one. Resource company was very good to us last year. We put it on down here. We like it down here. It's showing some good signs finally, okay, because it came down pretty sharply. Okay, if you remember, this was one that around this time last year, it was February around here, we were below $1. And we put this out and we said, guys, here's a lottery ticket you want to buy. Okay, because if it goes, it's going to go, and then it's going to hit a nerve. And then it started to go, and all we kept saying was, hold on, the nerve is coming. And then the nerve came and it went up here. And we all sold it out. And we had some members that said, thank you for the 10x trade. And I'm sitting there going, what do you mean? What do you mean? He said, well, you told us in February that you were buying it down here as a lottery ticket. So they bought it at 70 cents, 80 cents, 90 cents. They sold it at $6.5, $7, a 10x. Believe me, I was happier than they were, the fact that they told me that. We caught it, but I didn't think they caught it. And then it got back last year and it started pulling back. We said between 3 and 4, we like it. And we said, okay, the year is over, and now we put it back on. So we put it on around here. It's doing work around here. It's still got, in my opinion, is when it does work, it's constructive. Because if it's constructive, it means it's sensitive to the upside again. So we like AREC. We have our full position on. If I have mine, I have room for maybe a little more. If I had room for a lot more, I would be adding.
Okay, next one up from Addicted to Water is asked about coffee.
Coffee's another one. Coffee went down because of some forced liquidation. It got to an area now where it's got to do a little sitting. Okay. Now I thought this was an area. Okay. This extension is bullish if we hold here. Remember when I showed you the silver chart? Well, very different. Don't think you can trade coffee like silver. But I'm saying this, if you hold this week, then coffee's got a nice bounce in it. Now, I don't know if coffee's getting back up here anymore, but you don't need that. All you need is a trade here, and coffee can go. If you remember, we made a video last week. We said we grabbed coffee. This was big. And the bounce here made you 50%. If you traded futures, you made 50% on your money just in 2 days. Okay? And then we thought it was going up to here. Okay, and it didn't. Now down here makes it more of a reason where if we are turning, we think it's going to go back up to here. We like coffee, but it's hard to navigate when it's still going through liquidation. You can't go all in. You kind of got to go all in when you're confident that the turn is in, which means you got to buy it higher, not lower.
All right, next one from Gunny Hartman.
Gunny.
Uranium.
Uranium, watch yourself, Gunny. I think the world has caught long uranium again. Okay? We're looking at it. We like uranium. We just don't like it at the area everyone else does. Our gauge is UU. Okay? And it's on my radar screen big time. But you see what I mean? It looks like when it gets caught up here, it's the same thing as USAR, same thing as those hot sectors, because this is a hot sector. People hear about it, they talk about it, they like it, and they jump in, get caught. They like about it, they talk about it, they jump in, and they're caught. But this was the beginning of the year, so this is a little different. This is fresh January money. This makes sense. You always get new flows, and they come into the hot sectors. And everybody just chased it into January, and now it's coming off. I think you got to watch yourself here, because I feel that if the market breathes a little and this gets a little stale, this is one of the first things they're going to sell. And hopefully if they sell it, we like the story. I don't like it up here. I like it in my areas down here as far as uranium. Just using UU as an example.
Okay, Jeff is asking, silver, when do you take profits?
No. We always take, we traded. Think about it. We've been trading silver until 2 weeks ago when we bought that silver at $65. So we want to see what's going to happen this week. We bought silver 65, and if you followed us, you said, listen, guys, I'm not selling this silver. I want to see what happens this week, which is the week coming up. And then we'll see, and then maybe I'll take a profit. Okay? This was a different one. We've been trading silver. Silver's been good to us. Okay? We've been avoiding. A lot of people that, think about it, we said this months ago, people are going to be bullish silver. People are going to be long silver. Silver's going to make the most unbelievable move of any commodity in decades. I'm pretty sure everybody lost money in silver. Okay, I remember saying this many, many times. Okay, because you got to know when to avoid. And that Thursday just blew everybody's doors in. We avoided it. As far as taking profits, we're holding one this week. We're holding our silver futures. I want to see what happens in the next 3 or 4 days.
Lauren M is asking, what are your thoughts on cocoa?
Cocoa has been my. It's gone to areas I couldn't believe it extended to. I know why it's gone to the areas, and the point is, it's created such a sensitive side to the upside, but it's still continued liquidation. This has killed me because it got to an area that I thought I had the right area. Okay, and that area was here. And look how wrong I've been. It just continues to go. Okay, now I'm trying to stay in the game because I think this is one of the most unbelievable bungee jump stretches I've seen in a long time. So the minute it stops, this tells me people that can't stay in the game were forced out. So if it bounces, there is no one to sell. So if you get anything, this is a slightly bullish news in cocoa. You can have easily a bounce here, and then you got to see what happens. That's what I'm trading for. And the instruments cost me a lot on the way down.
Uber, do you still hold?
Yeah, we have Uber on. Oh, yeah. I think Uber, the ones we've been talking about, great work this week in Uber as far as performance. Okay. We talked about Uber here. Okay. And it looked like it failed. And where is it? It's actually higher than when we started talking about it. So I actually think this is going to get on its horse. Okay. It's got a few technicals it's got to go through. We got some calls that expire on Friday. Yeah, lottery tickets. That's why we only buy calls out of lottery tickets. I have some stock on too. It's one of the few things I ever have stock and calls on. So it could get sensitive. I would love to get sensitive this week, but I think we're okay in Uber. I think Uber's going to work its way higher. I think Uber's got numbers up here.
Next one, SMCI.
Yeah, it's not on my radar anymore, guys. It had its move. We were trading it in a range. It broke out of the range, but it's nothing that gives me conviction to get in. So I'm only watching it. I don't have a strong view here in SMCI.
Okay, how about NVIDIA?
NVIDIA, same thing. I've been a little bearish for the last couple of weeks, but I've been bearish in NVIDIA a few times, guys. And every time I was bearish, I was wrong. So keep that in mind. I would not take what I say being bearish as validity, okay? There's a couple of times where we thought nice setups in NVIDIA, they should go lower, and they went lower for like a day, and then went up for a week. So I said, listen, I'm not, my signals don't work in NVIDIA. I've been bearish in this for a couple of weeks, and meanwhile, it's still in the same spot. No opinion.
Okay, let's see. What stocks are sensitive to cocoa?
There are no stocks you could trade that'll have cocoa sensitivity.
Okay, how about next question here? MARA.
Mara? Oh, crypto stocks? Crypto stocks have extended down. You know us, we've been super bearish in MSTR for many, many months. So we think just that stock, and it brings down all the other stocks. Every week you ask us, guys, you say the same thing. We think MSTR is going down. Well, you tell me, guys, how many months? Straight down, straight down, straight down. Okay, now it's in an area, maybe it holds, but not enough for me to get long. No, I wouldn't get long MSTR. That's a Bitcoin stock. I think Mara and Riot went down accordingly. So if they did, then if you like the price of Bitcoin, then maybe you look at Mara. Okay, they're down in the same areas. Okay, but you know, you've had this set up a few times. Okay, crypto, if crypto gets quiet, it doesn't mean crypto has to go down. What they call crypto winter or something. So if it gets quiet, then this could just sit here. Then you have tied up money. It looks okay. If this, I don't pay attention to what the letters are. I just look at what this tells me. This says it looks okay for a trade, but I'm not compelling enough for me to get involved.
Okay, next one, Netflix.
Netflix we like a lot, guys. We like Netflix a lot, and we get very good performance the last couple of days. We think it's getting ready. Okay, this was very, we have Netflix on. Guy Adami told us about it, so he's been right for so many stocks. So we have it on, and we actually added on. If I remember, we added on this week also. So we have Netflix on. I think this was a good close this week. It did a lot of work down here. Every line is a day. So all week they kept trying to break it down from here. Now they broke it down here. Let me clean this up for you. Okay, and once they broke it down through this low, it should have continued, and it couldn't. And it couldn't even try that low. So if we get back above here, I think there's a snap, and I think the snap is going to be big. Now I also have a lot of respect when Guy gives us an opinion. He thinks it's going to be big, so it makes me feel even better. We have a full position on in Netflix, and I think there's a big bounce coming.
Do you have any take in Palantir?
PLTR, same thing. I've been bearish, but I've been bearish Palantir a few times and haven't been right. So I still think it's a crowded trade, but there's always fresh money coming in. Not enough to have an opinion.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any other new stocks here? Oh, the yen.
The yen. You know, I'm long yen. I've been long yen for a while now. It's a long-term view. I think currencies are going to recalibrate. I think the dollar is going to go lower. So I want to know what's the right currency to be long if I think the dollar is going to lower. And I think it's the yen. So I've had the yen on for a while. Okay, it's just sitting around here. I just think the big move is not the downside. I think the big move is the upside. So I don't pay attention to this, and I don't pay attention to this. That's not going to make me make a decision, because I do think if I'm right, it can go. So I like the yen. I still have it on. I'm comfortable, and this is not telling me anything.
Okay. Do you watch INTC?
Intel? Yeah. It's not enough for me to focus on.
All right. Let's see if there are any other stocks here that you would watch. How about the energy markets?
The energy markets we're going to talk about, because I think the oil market has changed. Okay, what we've seen here is a new calibration. You know, we said oil's been in a range for a year and a half. That's all we've done. It's been working for us. And every time it got into the 50s, we either buy oil, we bought gasoline, we bought ExxonMobil, we bought a bunch of oil stocks. We don't think it's getting to the 50s anymore. Okay, we think this area, this range, is now moved. See if I can do this right. So this range, we think now is this range. So now these we think are the bottoms, not these bottoms. We don't think you're going to see these anymore. So now you adjust this from 55 to 65. We think now it's going to be from 60 to 70, and maybe you have a couple of pops on the upside. We think the structure's changed. We're watching the spreads that used to give us good indicators down here. They're giving us indicators on pullbacks here. So it's a different game. We got a squeeze this week in heating oil. So that was a little bit of it's a distorted move on the upside, because it's not really heating oil. It's just something that's going to expire in a couple of days, and the market's caught the wrong way. But overall, I like the energy markets. I won't chase it, but it's showing that how sensitive it is to the upside. And if you think about it, commodities are repricing. What's one thing that hasn't repriced in a while is oil. So people say oil's $60. I don't worry about anything else. Good. But now if oil becomes 70 or 80, you watch these oil stocks. Watch these oil stocks. Okay, look what oil is. Okay, oil's nowhere at $65 longer term. Okay, now let's go to ExxonMobil. Let's go to Valero. Okay, they should be nowhere too, right? This is ExxonMobil. You tell me. Bang. We've been trading this all year in a range. We don't have this on. I mean, we made 50 points trading ExxonMobil in this range. Now it's broken out. Look at this thing. Does that look like $60 oil? That looks like $100 oil. Look at Valero. Valero makes sense because oil sits and gasoline and heating oil go, so the margins are big. Well, look at Valero, exploding. Okay, this is $100. It's $200. This is serious moves. These charts look like oil is trading $100 and oil is trading $65. Okay?
What is the catalyst for this?
Because, as Guy taught us this, these companies become so efficient that there's just so much more margin, especially in a refinery where they could take oil and create and turn into gasoline or heating oil or into byproducts. There's so much more margin in it, so their profits are bigger.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. NAK.
Yes, this is one we put on to trade. They came out with some litigation news, so the thing came right off. Makes total sense. It's not affecting us. We've had people in the group that say, "Oh, I got NAK." Well, NAK is literally our smallest position. So when something moves, here it is. This is not moving on needle. Okay, we caught this twice already this year. We bought it $1.50, sold it at $2, and we bought it at $2 and sold it at $2.50. So we keep taking 50 cents out. We put it on around here, and now it's down here with some litigation. I'm not going to add on. I would rather see it bounce back through here. I would add on if it got to here, not to here. Okay, because then I know this is out of the woods. But right now I'm sitting on it. I have nothing to do in it. It's not moving my needle. I have a small position in it.
And if a trade goes against your way, how do you stay balanced so this does not hurt your portfolio?
You just said it. Stay balanced. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 of them that aren't working, we have, I don't know, just glancing over 20 positions on. So if 3, 4, or 5 of them aren't working, but the other 15 are or not moving, then the numbers aren't spooking you out. That's one of them. That's why you stay balanced. I don't go all in. Okay, I'm not at a poker table here. I'm here to trade, not invest, but I do it with money management.
Okay, let's show the Discord how you release your ideas and trade alerts.
Okay, this is what we do in Discord, guys. Belong to the group. This is exactly what we do. Okay, all day I'm putting my opinions out. Okay, when we trade, we tell you exactly what we're doing. All right, let's look for some trades. Okay, we're talking about metals, as you could see. That's why this is yesterday in the morning. What did we talk about? We talked about how silver can go. Okay, what else did we talk? You asked me about this. We talked about this yesterday morning. Shallow pullbacks in Netflix and Uber. Those are symptoms I like to see. That's what made me even more bullish at the end of the week. What happened? They both closed strong.
So basically, all these are your commentary throughout the day?
All day.
On
stocks? Throughout the day. Everything. Everything. You know? Talk about everything all day. Come out in the morning with a big comment. As you can see, 7:30, 8 a.m. Always come out with my opinions. Tell people, this is something I tell people a lot. Be careful, especially going into nighttime. Okay? When we trade, we let you know we're trading. Here's one of them, Pan American Silver. Okay? We had Pan American Silver on. This is a couple of days ago. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I guess. Selling out of our Pan American Silver. Okay? Tell you what we're doing. When we trade, we tell you exactly what we're doing. Let me go down a little. Okay, our trade alerts. If you don't want to hear me all day, you just want to know what I'm doing when I'm trading, exactly it. This is going back. PPTA, Pan American. Okay, I tell you what I'm looking to do. So I do it and we trade as a team, as opposed to other sites where I see the people running the sites. They say, guys, we're selling Pan American. We sold Pan American. We want to tell you. What kind of crap is that? Okay, we work as a team. I tell you guys, I'm looking at it. Okay, so EXK, one of the silver stocks. This is on the 17th. We'll say 21st.
So when you say those words, I'm looking at it here. That means people should get their charts up.
If they're interested, if they seem to like the idea, I tell them exactly. I'm looking at it here. So if you're interested, you got a couple of minutes setting up yourself. So, okay, you know what? Maybe I like it too. And I'd say, okay, guys, I'm going to buy it. Okay, this isn't all in the same sentence. This has got a couple of minutes in between. And I tell you where it's trading at the moment. So EXK, one of the silver stocks. This has happened on the 17th. So guys, I'm looking at EXK. Okay, I'm buying half of my EXK here, whatever my positions are. Everybody matches their own positions. So right here, we trade as a team. And that's the area it's trading. Very clean. Okay, PPTA, another one, everything is here. Netflix, we added some Netflix on that day also. Okay, so you can see everything is very easy. All you want to do is trade. Okay. See the positions? This is the way we trade. We trade futures, which we trade also. Okay, same idea. We tell you what we're doing, when we're going to do it. Okay, we're looking at June palladium, but we didn't do anything. We're looking at natural gas. Okay, talking about natural gas, we trade it. Coffee, talking about coffee. Okay, now one thing you got to keep in mind. Okay, 4:23 a.m. That's 4:23 a.m. New York time. Futures trade 24 hours. If you want to trade futures, you see these bags under my eyes? You're going to wind up with some of those too. Hopefully the bag's got a few dollars in them. Okay, but that's the way we trade. So if you're trading futures, it could be any time. That's what we do there. What do we do all day as far as the group? General chat all day. Guys are talking all day back and forth. Ideas, what they're looking to do. Questions, they talk amongst each other. I jump in once in a while, answer the questions. Okay, they're all asking each other questions. See, like Joe's asking me something. Okay, we get back. We have a midday clip every day. Okay, we're traders. We're not investors. You know what that means? It means at 7 a.m. I have an opinion on something. By 11 a.m., it may change. You know how we make money trading? By recognizing trends or reversals. So sometimes we're bullish something at 7 a.m. At around 11, so you know what? It ran its course. It's not going to do it. We make a clip every day between 11, 11:05, 11:10. Tell you what our second half plan is for the day. Thursday mornings, got Guy Adami from CNBC, live webinar. If you follow Guy on CNBC, Q&A, ask him whatever you want. I'll tell you something, this guy has been on fire for 2 years. Long macro views. Guy has got experience in macro, experience in connections. He also is a trader. I sat next to Guy for many years. Very few people have both qualities. He's got both qualities. Live questions, funniest guy, in my opinion, funniest guy on TV. You don't even know it. I know because he's almost like a brother to me. Yeah. Another thing we added on this year are bots. Where am I going? Right here. Okay, bots. If you're a bot trader, you understand what I'm talking about. Last year I made over 100%. Now, bots are a lot of singles. There's no home runs. Everything's a single. Last year, as a group, we had a good year, but it's in the past. We made over 300% last year. No exaggeration. No bells and whistles. It's all there. Bots made 100%. It's on top of the 300%. I actually think that's a harder accomplishment. You see how they trade. Comes out. Gains, losses, you know your parameters, you know what you're risking, all there. When you add that up at the end of the year last year, just follow it when it comes out because the alerts come out, you made 100%. How cool is that? If you're making 100% trading bots, stay what you're doing. If you're making 50, stay what you're doing. You're getting chopped up a little or uncomfortable, you may want to look at this. Different subscription. Joe's part of the team. Joseph, it's JoeBot. It's a young man who created an algorithm. Unbelievable. Works unbelievable. That this all comes with Discord. This is what you get when you belong to Discord. If you want to join, put it up. This is how you join, guys. Well, this is our spreadsheet. Let's go how we join first, since we just went to Discord. Okay. RNTR.trading. Okay. So you want to come to us. Very different than everyone else because a lot of copycats lately. I guess people getting banged around, so they want to, piggyback us. We're not day traders. We're not swing traders. We're not mirror traders. We don't trade crypto. These are all the things that people say. Yeah, join RNTR. We do all this. We don't do any of that. Okay. We are directional traders. We stick to mostly what I have experience in, which is commodities, resources. Okay. And we don't trade the big names often. You're not going to see me trade Apple and Google. Very, very rare. Once in a while, we trade Netflix now. But mostly I stick to what I think I know. You know why? Because if I lose money, I can explain why. If I make money, I can explain why. If you trade Amazon and the earnings are great and the stock goes down, you can't explain it. You go to the analyst, they can't explain it either. Everybody sings the same song. You know what? If I'm going to lose money, I want to lose it because I'm wrong, not because someone else is wrong. So that's why we stick to what we know. This is what you get. Okay, we get back to you. If you join us, we get back to you with a mail. We get back to you with a link. We get back to you with an invite into that Discord chat. Anything else you get is not us. You can join and you can quit at any time. We have many people say, you know what? It's a little too high speed for me, a little too aggressive for me. We understand. But you know what? Last year, when you made 340-something%, and the year before we made 100%, as opposed to making 4, 5, 6%, which is what the S&P has been returning over the last 25 years, you get to your goals a little faster. It's a little more effort, but look at it. So people say, you know what? I'm not ready for this yet. Totally understand, because you got to commit yourself. But if you can make this kind of money, I mean, isn't it worth the commitment? We've had people that say, what I was trying to make in 20 years, I made in 8 months. Okay, there you go. That's what.
All right. So, guys, this is our website, RNTR.trading. Take a screenshot, write that down. If you're interested in joining the service, you're not married to this service. You can quit anytime you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, if you find it's not for you, we'll send you the directions to cancel.
Yeah,
send us an email, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy.
Very easy to go. Okay. This is what we're doing for the year. Okay. I shouldn't put it up. I'm going to put it up again because we got a lot of people asking. This is what we did last year. Okay. No exaggeration. Everything is here. It's all checked. Real 344% we made last year, guys. Okay. It's last year. It's in the past. Year before that, we made over 100%. But you can make the money and you can see the trades. This year, where do we stand? Okay. It says 46 because those are the closed trades. We're not 46% for the year. We're closer to around 15% for the year. Okay. These are the trades as they close. That gives you the return on those. We have other trades in here also. But you can see, okay, say what you know what? If you're trading just equities, because there's futures in here. I told you Coco hasn't been working for us. If you traded just stocks this year so far, you got to be pushing high teens for the year. You're what, less than 2 months in, you're up between 15 and 20% just trading the equities. Sounds pretty good to me. Where would I sign? Okay, you can see what we trade. You asked about these: platinum, fertilizer, wheat futures, natural gas, crude oil, soybeans, gasoline. Okay, there's the Netflix in there. I told you, cocoa. Okay, think about this. You don't see any of the big names in there. ConocoPhillips. Okay, Lyft. Okay, same thing. See the way we trade, guys? All stuff that at least if I lose or make, I could explain it. That's what we do.
Yeah, and all these trades they're verified by other people and our members.
Yeah.
When we get in, when we exit, the price.
That's it. This is all, this is not making this up. I'm not going to try to screw you around. Come on. We had a lot of people yesterday when we did a live. Person said there's a lot of people, naysayers, saying you're full of crap. You can't do it. I said, okay, just ask me the question. What do you want to know? If you think I'm creating stuff, ask me what it is, because everything is here. I didn't have to answer. We had tons of members of the group jump right in and go, no, these are real numbers. They've made it themselves. So I didn't even have the chance to defend myself. And I'm wide open. Ask me anything you want. I have no reason to make this. What am I going to make this up for? Come on. Really? I'm going to be here doing this? Okay? It can be done.
A rock from our eyes is asking, do you teach puts and calls?
Oh, we have options boot camp. I watch options more than people know. I used to teach option classes. The reason I don't trade a lot of options right now, because most people are buyers of options. And buyers of puts or calls right now are overpriced. So if you're a buyer of options, you are overpaying. So that's why I very rarely trade. Okay, if I see them really juiced up and I don't have a strong trading view, I'll sell some covered calls against it, or I'll earn while I can. But for me to buy an option right now in this environment, they're overpriced. I taught option classes, guys. Universities. I used to teach options on the trading desk at Goldman. I retired from Goldman Sachs. A lot of the younger guys come up with option trades, and I would pick them apart. I understand options very well.
Yeah, so if you're interested in the options course we have available, it's in the link at the top of our page. You'll find the courses in the link, and then once you sign up, you'll get an email, and you sign into our site, and you'll have access to that course.
Yeah. It's a boot camp, very comprehensive. It's a good 5-6 hours. So you want my honest opinion, and people have done it. Go, you purchase it once, go through it a couple of times. I got to think almost every single person that subscribed to the boot camp came back and they go, wow, I really didn't understand what I don't know about options. And I believe it. I agree with them. Okay. Just got to devote yourself. Take a weekend. Watch it for 5 or 6 hours. Next weekend, watch it again, because you're going to miss things. You're going to be one of the best options trader out there. Okay. You watch. It's there. I'm not making it up. I am not. I'm standing behind it. You tell me after you take that course, it didn't enhance what you know about options.
All right. So that looks like that answers our questions for today.
Okay. Good. Let's go back here in case anybody. Okay. Got a busy week coming up, guys. I'm serious. We waited. Silver was the one. Metals are the one. Oil's been a curveball that's just been thrown into this group. So that can cause distortions. We talked about grains being the underpriced sector. Look at them starting to move now. Watch them. People are making, stocks are doing nothing. Okay, let's put this up. Just 1 second. Okay. S&P. Okay. So doing nothing? Doing nothing. Okay. It's sitting around here, but it's doing nothing but putting people in a blender. NASDAQ. What's it doing? Doing nothing, actually coming off, because we think there's a rotation going on. Okay. So this is my point. You're trying to trade stocks, the big name stocks, you're chopping yourself up. In the interim, wait for your spots. We wait for our spots in commodities, because I stand by what I say. I think all commodities are on the cheap side. What we're trying to do is find the ones that are really cheap at the right time right now. But we're a buyer of commodities. I think the dollar is going to recalibrate more, and then it's going to create the cheapness of all these commodities. So we're trying to find them. And oil is a good curveball that's opening up people's eyes this week.
All right. I think we're good. Yep.
Okay, we're back here Wednesday morning. This is an important week. Please watch yourself. Okay. What I'm trying to say is focus, if you can, on the metals markets this week. Very important. And we'll see you next week. And just watch yourself. You got a month end coming in a week that everybody had a great January, and now they're getting banged around in February. How many people are actually up for the year at this point? In January, it's like, here we go again. The parade is going. Everybody was smiling. Now people got banged around. See how they stand at the end of February, because it's different. When you go into the first couple of months of the year and you're in negative, very different thought process, very different trading process. I'll see you guys Wednesday.